Hey, my name's James Nicholson, and in this video, I'm going to talk all about how you can recycle the deposits you use to buy investment properties to build a substantial portfolio. Now, do stick around to the end because I have got multiple ways that you can do this. Some you'll know, some maybe you've never heard of. So you're going to learn something great in this video. Now, while you're here, do subscribe to the channel and smash that bell notification. I've got new content every day on my property journey. I'm currently investing with my two daughters, Emily, who's 1, Georgia, who's 21, and I'm going to show you the ins and outs, everything we do when we buy from auction, when we renovate the property, what's going on with those properties, and how you can also invest and make money using property. Now, you want to know all about how to invest and how to recycle that money. Now, this is something that initially when I started investing more than 20 years ago, I had no idea. And you maybe are in that position right now. I assumed that everybody that had multiple properties worked really hard or ran a business and saved deposits to buy each buy-to-let or property investment that they had. But that's just simply not true. You see, I know people that have got 1,000 properties. You just couldn't do that. So what are people doing differently? What are the investors that are really successful doing to take that money that they initially have and invest and grow a portfolio? Well, the first way to recycle your deposits is just time, right? Just time. Now, my first property, and you can check out my first property on the channel. There's a video somewhere on this channel, right? My first property I bought for £45,000. And I bought it on a residential mortgage. And at the time, the deposit was just £3,000. Now, normally, properties double in value roughly every 10 years, which is insane, right? And so that property has actually done more than that because it's in the southeast in Surrey and prices have gone up slightly better than maybe other parts of the country. So let's just look at roughly how that works. So I bought it for 45. Let's just round it up to 50. And now it's worth nearly £300,000. So it's gone up nearly 6 times. Now that property, when it got to being worth £100,000, actually released some equity on that property and did 2 things. One was a renovation. So I fixed the kitchens and bathrooms and stuff like that, which was a few £1,000s. And then I invested in another property. So I took out probably £20,000 and I invested in Hastings, right? So the time allowed me to recycle that money, right? And so I took out £20,000, I invested in a flat in Hastings and I refurbed the property that I lived in, that initial property, and that uplifted the value yet again. Few years later, the market was really hot and had gone up again. And so I took out £25,000 this time and I invested in a house in Hastings. And so I'd recycled the money. The £3,000 that I'd put in, I'd had way more than that out anyway. And so I got my deposit back and more, significantly more, because I put £3,000 in. At this stage, I've taken out £45,000 in equity and got 2 further properties. So time is really good at that, right? And so that's one thing that people do. They invest in an area where they just know over time there's going to be capital appreciation. And maybe 5 years later, they're able to refinance, get a new mortgage because the house has gone up in value. And then they will look at buying their next property, right? So time's one of those things. Next is buying below market value, right? So why would someone sell their house cheaper than what it's worth? Well, there's a number of reasons. One might be that they need to sell it fast, right? Maybe they need that money to use on something else, maybe to invest in a business or pay off a debt. I don't know, but there's tons of reasons why people need to sell fast. Sometimes it could be to stop a repossession, right? Maybe they've got in arrears. They need to sell it fast to pay back the mortgage, pay back all the arrears, and you can help them do that, right? Now, one place that you can find properties that are below market value is an auction. And we've just done that. My daughter, Georgia, and I, we've just bought a property at auction. You can see all behind the scenes on how we did that on the channel. Actually, we made a really in-depth video on that. And so we bought at auction, we bought it below market value, and that property was just someone that was going through a repossession. So we bought from the bank, right? And so that meant that the property was below market value. Now, we bought that property for £60,000 2 weeks ago, and next door sold for £80,000 last month. Next door. So that means that we've already got a huge amount of equity in there, so we can put it now on a mortgage. Now, on a buy-to-let mortgage, they will lend you 75% of the value of the property, right? 75%, which is pretty good. So what does that mean? So the property is already valued at £80,000. We bought it for 60. Now, if they will lend me 75% of 80 is 60. So all the money I've paid out for this house, I can put that on a mortgage and get all my money back, right? So I'll get 100% of my money back. Now I've got a mortgage for 60,000 on a property that's worth 80. So I've got to pay mortgage payments, but they'll be covered by rent, right? Now I've got that £60,000 back. So I've got no money left in that deal. All my money's back, and this is happening very quickly. I'm not waiting for inflation or capital appreciation over time. It's just happening within a few weeks. Now I can go again, right? So I've got a property with no money left in it. I can go again and I can do my next deal. And that's what we're looking at doing now. We're looking at the next places to find deals. And so we're constantly looking for stuff out there. So buying below market value and then refinancing allows you to pull out your money. Now, you might not get all your money out. You might get most of it out. You might have to leave £10,000 in the deal, but that's still better than leaving 25% in that deal, which is a real winner. And the other one, the other way that you can recycle your deposit, which is kind of what we're doing in a combination here, is the BRRR method. So what does that even mean? Well, it stands for buy, refurbish, refinance, rent. And there are tons of properties in the UK, hundreds of thousands, I would say, that need refurbishment or that you can add value to, right? And so recently in 2020, I was buying flats and adding value to them. So buying a flat, adding value to it by adding additional bedrooms. I bought one flat that had a 45-foot living room, right? Crazy. Most living rooms, standard living rooms, are like 15 feet by 15 feet. This was 15 feet by 45 feet. It was ridiculous how big that bedroom was. Sorry, how big that living room was. And so what we did was we added a partition wall, went through building control, did all that stuff, and added that second bedroom. That cost £5,000 to do, but the uplift in value was £50,000 because it was in the southeast. We did that with another property where we bought a studio flat, and the studio flat was turned into a one-bedroom house that cost £4,000 to do the work. Very easy work. We're not talking about kitchens and bathrooms here. We're talking about partition walls, decorating, carpets. That's it. Very quick and very fast to do. So you buy, you refurbish, and then you can go and refinance. So what does that mean? Well, that means that I can say, look, I bought it for 100. Now it's worth 150. So I can go to the mortgage company and say, give me a mortgage on a valuation of £150,000, and they will lend you 75%. They want you to keep 25% in there. But that 25% is kind of magical money because you created that value and that equity by improving the property, and then you rent it out. And that is how people are recycling their money. So normal vanilla buy-to-lets, they're great as well. But if you want to build a portfolio fast, the better way to do it, and a normal buy-to-let will work because of time, right? So in time, 5 years, 10 years, your value will go up, you release some equity, and you buy your next one, right? But if you want to do that little bit faster, the two options are to buy below market value. You can do that at auctions. You can do that with distressed buyers, people that need to buy sell really fast. Or you could do the BRRR strategy, which is probably the easier one, to find distressed properties that need love. need attention, need you to really get in there and get those working and turn them back into nice living houses. You're doing a great job by being a landlord and doing that. So that's it. That's how you recycle your money. I hope you found that useful. I'd love to know your thoughts on this. Please do comment on these videos, guys. I want to build a property community. The reason I'm launching this channel is because I want to hold myself accountable. I want to take you guys on the journey. I want to show you what I'm doing with my daughters. Because for me, it's really important to leave a legacy, right? And by making this channel, this holds me accountable. It means I'm putting out there what I'm going to do, and I have to do it, right? I have to show people now, hey, look, is he really going to buy properties for his children in 2022? And the fact is, making this channel allows me to do that and share that with you guys and hopefully help you on my journey. So if you didn't earlier, subscribe and hit the bell. We've got tons of new content. I'm going to show you the renovations in the Doncaster property and how we're going to take that from an unloved house to a loved house, refinance it, and hopefully get all of our money back out using the BRR strategy. And I'm also going to show you how we get tradespeople and all the other stuff that you need as a business owner and a property developer. So do like the video as well. And I'll see you guys very soon. Go and check out all the other videos on my channel while you're here. Thanks, guys. Bye for now.